Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Kale from Cubo Gaming, and today I'm talking about Phasmophobia. I saw this game on Steam a couple weeks ago when it was first put up on Steam, and it looked really fun. And if I'm being honest, I'm a sucker for co-op horror games, and this one looked perfect, but I wrote it off once I saw it was a VR game. Then later I went back on the Steam page and saw that it was not only for VR, but for non-VR players also. And obviously I immediately bought it, and after that I convinced 3 other friends to buy it too. And seriously, I can't stress this enough, this game pulls off atmospheric horror so well. And I'll talk about that later on, but I'll give you an idea of what the game is all about. Okay, so Phasmophobia is an up to 4-player co-op horror game. You basically are a team of ghost hunters going to locations around the country in order to gather evidence, with the huge arsenal of ghost equipment. Once you gather the evidence, you sell it to a ghost removal team, and the more evidence you gather, the more money you make. There are a lot of different types of ghosts and locations. I think there are 7 maps right now, but the devs plan to add more in the future. And looking at the roadmap right now, they're going to add a prison level, apartment building, and mansion level. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to add even more than this, but this is what they have right now. Now, yes, this is an early access game, but for some reason it makes me even more excited because I know that they're gonna come out with more content for the game. And I mean, come on, at this point, we should all just expect a game to be in early access for like 5 years before it actually releases. And like I said before, the game is mainly for VR, but honestly, don't let that stop you from playing it. The controls are a little odd, but the game is way too fun to write it off for that. Oh, and it's cross-compatible with VR, so if one of your friends is using VR and you aren't, you guys can still play with each other, which is really nice. I mentioned earlier that the game pulls off atmosphere really well, and I don't even know where to start with this. The game makes you feel completely isolated, and there are times where I'm walking in a house and I hear a floor creak under me, and I'll flip out and look around to make sure I'm not about to get slaughtered by a ghost. And there's a really cool feature where the game will use your mic audio so you can communicate with the ghost. A lot of times this will give you a better EMF reading or even anger the ghost to actually kill you. And not only that, there's a spirit box where you can ask the ghost questions, and when or if they respond, get ready to be creeped out because it's really eerie. There are a crazy amount of questions to ask, like who are you? Do you want us here? How old are you? Or you can even ask it to scream, but depending on the ghost you're dealing with, it may or may not respond. Even the lighting is eerie, but not in a non-realistic way. The problem is, it's realistic. Too realistic. I'm playing a game and I want it to look and feel real, but this game just makes you feel uneasy. But I don't know, at the same time I love it because that just adds to the feel of the game. There are a lot of atmospheric aspects that are done really well in this game. Like when you first walk into the house or a building, you automatically just feel the pressure in your ears. It's like you walk into a vacuum and there's no sound at all, but there is at the same time. It's weird, but the first time I walked into the house I was investigating, I walked right out because I was not expecting it. Here's a clip for you to hear so you see what I'm talking about. Another thing is that I highly recommend playing this with friends. It doesn't make it any less scary, but it just makes it more fun. And if you play with proximity chat on, it forces you to either stick together with your team, or if you have to split up, then you use your radio. And there were so many times where I'd be talking to someone over the radios, and out of nowhere, I get radio silence. And I later find their dead body on the floor. Something else to add to the team play is the sanity meters. So basically, you can have one person whose sanity is lower to stay in the surveillance truck and help spot ghosts or look for spirit orbs. This all, again, encourages teamwork and just makes the whole experience a lot more involving. This game balances horror so well, and it's one of the few I can think of that actually doesn't get less scary with friends. So you start out in your headquarters type area where you select your contract and location, but you also buy your equipment and equip it for the jobs you do. There are a ton of equipment options like UV lights, cameras, crucifixes, EMF readers, and a ton more. All these tools help you gather information. And like I mentioned before, you select your contract here, and there are 22 maps at the moment, but I was mentioning before that they're planning on adding a lot more. Oh, and you can also play basketball in this area.
Yeah, look at me. Ready?
So when you start out on a contract, you'll be in the surveillance truck and you'll see a list of objectives and some information on the ghost you're investigating. The optional objectives give you more money for each one you complete, but your main goal is to find out which ghost you're dealing with. It's really cool how you find out which ghost it is though. You use your journal, which has a bunch of information on the different types of ghosts and the different uses for all the tools, but you use this journal to record the 3 types of evidence that you are getting to finally help you find out which ghost it is. Whatever 3 pieces of evidence you experience in the location is going to determine which ghost you're dealing with. And at that point, you can leave. I just really like how this whole process is set up, and it encourages constant communication and working together with your team to find out which ghost it is. So I have to mention the hunt. The hunt is basically a period of time where the ghost gets angry enough to shut and lock your way out of the building and go on a killing spree. You'll know when this happens because the lights will shut off and you hear these heavy footsteps. It's terrifying. But this just makes you more paranoid to find the evidence fast and get out of there. There are a ton of different types of ghosts. Some are shy and get angry when you call out their name. Some only attack when people are alone or will only talk to you if you are alone. Each of the ghosts feel different and some are more terrifying and dangerous than others. It's always a new experience. This game is both terrifying and incredibly fun at the same time. If you don't believe me, then check out the Steam page. Right now, it has thousands of reviews and holding a overwhelmingly positive status. For a new early access game that's only been out for a couple weeks, that's really impressive, especially for a horror game. I've only just started playing the game, but there are some people who have 60 to 90 hours in the game already. This game accomplishes so much, and I feel this is exactly what the horror genre needed. A game that doesn't just opt out for jump scares or gory effects, but a game that takes its time and causes paranoia and built up fear, while at the same time being both fun and scary with friends. If you have the money, the game is $13 on Steam right now, and I highly recommend this to you, and if you can get some friends to play it with, the experience is even better. Alright, I think that's going to be it for this one. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and be sure to check out some of our other videos and our gaming podcast and Discord below.